Hi Taurus, welcome to your December 2018 General Tarot reading. I'm Marina, and I noticed that it's very overcast outside, so that's creating that in here, and I don't have the lights on. But, oh well, natural light. What are you going to do? We've got a couple of kings in this reading. Kings can be fathers, maybe the father of your child, or it could even be the person you're with if they have an authoritarian or their attitude, or they're older than you. So it could be any of those things. And so looking at this reading overall, to me, it suggests that there might be some hastiness going on on your part, or you're with somebody that's trying to really get you to make a quick decision about something. This could be for work. I mean, I did get a feeling of a personal relationship, but that doesn't mean it has to be that way in all cases. Keep in mind that this is a general reading. I think that most people understand that, but some people still will make comments of like, oh, well, this doesn't resonate. Well, you know, it's not the same as me doing a monthly reading for astrological reading for Taurus or for any other sign. It's really about separating people into groups, and I just am separating people into Taurus, and there's so many different things happening with Taurus. These cards are very open to interpretation, but let's just start with the first card here, the heart of the matter, the Eight of Wands. So there can be a lot of things flying at you, a lot of offers, a lot of, maybe with one person who is saying, let's do this, let's do that. Somebody you've just met, you know, has all these grandiose ideas. Maybe this is also someone like a recruiter, like for a company, or I don't know, even if you work for yourself, you can get people who are trying to hop on board, get you to collaborate, get you to do this or that. And it feels like very exciting, very heady, but it could be something that is too sudden, and that in itself could set off some red flags, because it's like, why does this person need me to make this decision now? What's the rush? What are they really up to? And you might have this sense of like, I don't like how they're approaching this. I don't like how they're doing this. And it could make you feel a little bit pressured. And, you know, there's one way to piss off a Taurus, and that's to push them. You're talking to a Taurus rising person. That's that's the one thing. You know, there are people that I have returned their money in private readings because they contacted me before I said I was going to be through. And I just said, no, I can't do it, because it feels like pressure. It feels like somebody trying to control too much. And so you may have the same experience, and you're very patient, unless you have a lot of Aries, that is. Typically, you're very patient. And so let's look at the other cards here. This is the foundation card to inform the reading. The Temperance card, to me, could indicate the opposite of temperance in a way. In other words, look at the issue of balance. Maybe with this other person. Maybe this person is like bipolar. That there's some kind of extremes that they engage in, so they exaggerate, and they can sweep you up in these things because they might be very enthusiastic. That does happen, you know, when somebody is like really manic and they seem on top of the world and they sweep up other people with their enthusiasm, and then you run into them a week later and they're like catatonic. They can't even form a conversation with somebody. So wild mood swings. And also the thing that I want to really kind of impress upon you is this is like, you know, you hear that thing, there's an offer that's too good to be true. It's not about excitement not being a thing. I mean, excitement is exciting, isn't it? But it's about losing your head. And actually, we can even look at this a different way because the fire element is the wands. So with the 8 of Wands, it's that feeling of a lot of great things coming in. The Temperance card is connected to Sagittarius, which is one of the fire signs. And hello, December we have mostly Sagittarius for the sun all month. We have a new moon in Sagittarius. So we also have a Mercury retrograde that began in November, that carries on until the first week of December. So it's possible that something gets delayed, you know, until the end of that first week, and then it's like all systems are go. Now that could be a really good thing. The reason that I'm presenting an alternative scenario to you is because we have this card, the High Priestess, and this is kind of like the challenge position. So with the High Priestess, it could be suggesting that you do not have all the information. So somebody is acting so excited and blah, 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 and you think it's one thing, but really there's more to the story. The Temperance card to me can also be a card of addiction if it's in the reversed position, but even in the upright position, it can be asking to look at the issue with a sober mindset, or perhaps somebody is claiming that they are sober when they are not, and they may be wanting to just like do something very major. Maybe you've been dating somebody and you kind of broke it off with them because they were drinking too much, and they said, no, I quit, and then they want you to elope, or they want you to move to a different country or something that's very extreme, and you might get swept away in that because it's very exciting, but you might not know the true story. Actually, I didn't even like put this into the equation, but here's another card to reiterate what I'm saying. The Moon card is in the position of the spiritual message. So it's more of a, on the philosophical level, I would say. And so this is talking about how we lie to ourselves and asking you if this is a pattern in your life. Do you see what you want to see? Did you grow up in a family of addiction? Because the Moon card connects to Pisces, and it can be addiction, deception, where that became normalized. Because this is very crucial. When people don't see something as a problem, they're not going to see those red flags. And by the time they realize how serious it is, they're in too deep. They're totally taken by somebody. They feel totally smitten, and they don't want to quit. So that's one of the things that has to be looked at. And it is, unfortunate when this happens, but it's not uncommon, is it? For people to get swept up in this. And also the moon card can relate to mental illness. It actually, they say insanity, but without over dramatizing it. That's why I say what I say. Now, it can be even a timing card too, showing you that you will see those spiritual messages come through. Maybe, well, there's a full moon in Cancer in December. And this is right before Christmas on the 22nd. So for you, Taurus, this is your third house of communication. So maybe it's something that you find out kind of from a third party online, or by looking at somebody's Facebook, you see, oh, wow, this person is actually, married, or this person said that they were, said that they never had children and they have 3 children. And, oh my God, they're like totally lying to me. So that could be the avenue that you uncover what the High Priestess suggests. And the moon suggests too, like half-truths, deception. But I think the most important one is self-deception. More on the mundane level, we have the 2 of Wands. So this can be about choice. Whenever you see 2, the duality of it, it's like this or that. Maybe you feel like, it's funny, somebody pointed out to me that there's another hand. You see the person's got those gloves. So another person is holding on to that other wand. And I forgot if they were saying what I was thinking too, like, what the symbolism of that would be. That it's not just your decision, that it affects other people. I mean, I think that's what I came to as a conclusion. But in any case, this could be, sometimes this card is about relocation, like whether you should stay where you are or move somewhere else. And I think it may even be you at a crossroads where, with a fire sign, there's that fire element again. And one thing that I want to state about fire for a Taurus, Taurus to me is one of the most sensual signs. So fire energy, especially if it's an Aries or a Leo, can be very sexy to a Taurus because they're on the same page with that. And fire energy can be more passion than necessarily romance or stability. Think about the nature of fire. It does have a quality about it that's quite dangerous and out of control, because all it takes is a little air and it just fans those flames, and it's like it spreads. That's why it's known for its expansive qualities when it comes to these kinds of readings. But, all good things have their shadow element, and one of them with the fire element is you might have passion for something, but the possibility for some kind of drama is also very great, especially if the relationship doesn't have a multi-dimensional nature to it, when it's like mainly a sex thing. It's gonna, the chances rise exponentially that it's not going to be, that's going to be like a rocky road because of that, because the 2 people are finding this common ground, but it's coming from this place of lust and not love, right? What's coming in is represented by the King of Swords. So you may decide to get really tough with yourself and say, I'm going to figure this out. I'm not going to allow myself to be swayed by this person. Maybe this person's going to try to have a sob story or what have you. I'm going to just make my decision based on my own well-being. So I feel like you have to be the bigger person in a way, because you may be dealing with somebody who is immature emotionally, and they may not even really know that about themselves. It might be something that they have never really like sat with and thought about. Maybe this person's a Pisces because the moon card is connected to that, which never made sense to me since the moon rules Cancer, but whatever. But you might have to kind of be the adult in the room, so to speak, with this sort of person. Now again, you may feel a sense of attraction to them, but that doesn't mean that it's healthy for you, and that's the bottom line. And you know, even like this is the same thing with a work situation, because you may be tempted to leave your job, and that might be what the Two of Wands is, to go into this other thing. But you've heard that expression, you know, they say this is a ground floor opportunity, and that's like a very sketchy kind of an attitude or phrase that people use when they want to manipulate others into going, you know, investing money, and maybe it's something that's a scam and stuff like that. So that's why it's so important to, like the King of Swords, this is a card also like of judges who have to make decisions, but they can't allow their emotions to be entered into it. They have to look at it logically and, you know, not get sentimental, not get manipulated by somebody who is trying to manipulate them. And with I feel like if this is a romantic partner, well, I guess it could be any type of situation, even if it was like maybe somebody wants you to go into a partnership with them and you don't think they're responsible. And they're just like, you know, the Eight of Wands is them just kind of like bombing you with all kinds of excitement and offers, and oh, it's going to be so great, it's going to, you know, take off like crazy, and you're highly skeptical. And Taurus has a good mind for money. So you're the kind of person who other people should probably be listening to more than you listening to them, you know, when it comes to advice about money. But this person, if this is like a personal relationship, they may be kind of a dependent type of person. The Moon card and the High Priestess to me are passive cards. They're not cards of people who are really go-getters. And with the Eight of Wands, they may be kind of almost pretending to be that. But they have a habit of starting something really strongly and then petering out. The outcome, the King of Wands. And this is a card, I'm just going to let that go because I couldn't find my phone, but you can hear some nice Indian music. That's my ringtone. And the King of Wands is a card of somebody who is really like confident and empowered. Okay, so they're not somebody who is shrinking back. If you have to make a decision, you're not going to second guess yourself, in other words. And that's kind of like the outcome, is that by making this decision, as evidenced by the Two of Wands, you're better able to understand why it was so important that you realize what was going on here, because this is like a whirlwind experience, and if you're not careful, you could get bamboozled by somebody who, it doesn't even seem like they're malicious. It just seems like they have some kind of imbalance within themselves that is causing them to act the way that they are. So I'm picking a card from the Universe Has Your Back deck. My fearless freedom lights up the world. And that's, some of these kind of phrases are a little bit unusual to me. But one thing that I like about that is that it does take being fearless to really be who you are. And that is a form of freedom. And in this particular context, if you allowed yourself to get swept away by somebody else's kind of manic, whim, if you will, that they might abandon next week, that would be kind of countering who you really are, because a lot of Taurians are cautious. You kind of like to weigh the pros and the cons. You don't like to just rush into things. And when somebody wants you to rush into something, like I said earlier, that is a red flag, because there's no reason why we can't do things methodically, is there? Yeah, sometimes things are time sensitive, but in many cases, that's not what's going on, and that's cause for concern. So, in any case, Taurus, I hope that you enjoyed this. Sorry for the interruption during the reading, but if you'd like a private reading, the link is below. Have a great December. Bye.